What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. What we're going to discuss today is the data that is coming out for housing. And I think that the what we're seeing in the data is just the beginning of where the market is going. You got to understand that the housing market is it's a very slow moving, right? It takes time to develop. It takes time to have a trend shift, okay? And so, with that being said, um, first, let's start off here with 30-year Treasury yield. In my opinion, and I'm still sticking to it, right? This is the long game. I do believe that the 30-year Treasury yield, which is strongly positively correlated with the 30-year mortgage rates, um, will keep going up. I think we've had a multi-decade run of a bull market for treasuries. And I think that ended in 2020. And now what you're seeing is a reversal in trend, bear market for treasury yields. And so what does that mean for mortgages? Well, my opinion, uh, in my last video, I discussed Jerome Powell um, talking about how certain regions of the country, right, you may not be able to get a mortgage. And the case in point was California, where maybe there's insurance risks or insurance companies are pulling out. Hence, there'll be some places where they just won't offer mortgages to people to be able to buy a house. And so that's a different aspect, but nevertheless, it will allow for some people, or will disallow for some people, not to be able to get a mortgage on a house. But anyways, as this is climbing up, right, interest rates will go higher. But I think inevitably what that'll do is bring down the price of the home. Now, in my opinion, I don't think that necessarily makes the home cheaper, but from a face value standpoint, it'll bring the price down. So if the home is, let's say, 600,000 at 7% interest rates, if you double those interest rates and all of a sudden it's at 14%, that house is not going to be at 600,000. You're going to see that price come down substantially. And and make no mistake, in a world like that, right? In a world like that, like, there would be a lot going on, right? For me, what I'm addressing is just the shift in the markets. What that looks like, right? It's anybody's guess. But from my perspective, I'm looking at this and saying, wow, it looks like that shift has begun, right? And so, are we starting to see some signs in which the housing market has began to show a slowdown? I think we have. So this is from Darth Powell talking about the existing home sales, right, all the way back to 2000. And I want you to take a note, right? We're in the month of May. Okay, if you look at the month of May, historically, it's pretty green. The only instance in which it's not green is when you're looking at the 2008 financial crisis, around that time period, right? From 2008 to approximately like 2012, right? And what you notice is in the month of May, you have 403, so 376 is the lowest point. So 2009, right? So 2008, the crisis was real, right? It was acknowledged. 2009, you're in it. Things are a little tough, but it kind of bottoms out here in the 376 area. Then what you see is, okay, you kind of start to get out of the great financial crisis. Home sales start to catch back up, And oh, look at 2020, right? It was short lived, but what you see, it was lower. The sales were lower in May than in 2008. Interesting, right? Now, fast forward, all of a sudden, get to 389. 389,000 homes for sale, which is on par with 2020 and 2008, 2009, right? So, what does that tell you? What is the trend showing you, right? So, if you look at 2008, the trend says 235, 262, 316, 364, 403, right? Those are the home sales. Here, you're seeing 240, 260, 257, 315, 349. So this is on par with home sales in 2008. So does the month of June, and apparently it could be that the month of June you see an even lower number. And in here, 2008, you saw a slight uptick, but the market has been at a standstill. I've been seeing a lot of people from different regions of the country posting about no one's really showing up to these open houses. And there's a large amount of applications for homes that have been canceled, right? Um, so it'll be interesting to see what this data looks like to finish off summer. But I do not anticipate it being any. I don't anticipate it being green. I think it'll look something like this, right? A muted summer of home sales. And I do expect it to start turning going into the winter, right? Winter is typically pretty slow as a whole, but I do expect there to be a lot of weakness, especially heading into next year, right? So next summer. So will be something to keep an eye on, see where these prices land and where they go. But I do believe that we're headed towards a moment in time where you're going to see higher interest rates. I do believe that. And it's a long game. I don't make no mistake about it. This takes years to play out. Just like this is a multi-decade run from 1981 to 2020. It's going to take time to play out. But you'll just see it slowly just kind of creeping up, and go further up and to the right. So that's kind of where I see things going. Home sales have definitely slowed down. We'll see what these numbers look like here in the next coming months. But one thing also to note is the average for the month. We're well below these averages. If you see here, right, in 2025, we've been well below the averages, right, for the last 25 years. So, with that in mind, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys are seeing in your areas. Are home sales cooked? Do you think they'll, level off and then continue higher, or will they level off and then continue lower, or just stay leveled off? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.